everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk about Black History Month. The month that is a celebration of my people, because I am a black man and everything. And it's about all our accomplishments, all the oppression that we have gone through over like centuries of living in like America and stuff like that. And even till this day, we are still being oppressed. And so I'm here today to talk to you about certain characters or TV shows or episodes that revolve around Black History Month that I personally enjoy. So I'm here today to talk to you about Good News Episode 1. This is that forgotten David Ramsey church show from UPN, very similar to that of Amen. Amen was a predominantly black show about a church in the 80s and the 90s, and then this show came out in 97, lasted till 98 for only one season, and it was about a predominantly black church show too. And ironically, both shows starred Ross Ryan in it. And not only that, but like this other actress from Amen, Anna Maria Hosford, she appeared in the pilot episode and she got to direct 2 episodes. So it has that whole Amen type of connection and vibe. Now, I totally forgot all about this show. I thought the first thing I saw David Ramsey in was Arrow, from the CW Arrowverse and everything. But no, it was this show. I forgot about this show on the UPN. And I remember last year, I was like, UPN had a bunch of shows. I want to kind of like relive them, see if I can find them on YouTube. And so I started looking for like all the pilot episodes on like YouTube for the many ones I could find. Plus, I was looking for this one YouTube show that I still can't remember the name of, and I still can't find it. I found it years ago, but I forgot what it is now. And so this was one of them. And so like I'm like, oh crap, I forgot that dude played like a pastor and everything. And when you watch the pilot episode, it's pretty like hilarious and stuff. However, it is pretty problematic today because you have to remember this was the 90s. So of course they use LBGT like humor, and they also use interracial humor as kind of like being something that was kind of like shameful and stuff like that. So it's very problematic for those 2 aspects, for them making fun of LGBT and interracial dating. But that was just something you saw a lot in the 90s, sadly. And times have now changed. So if this show would be made today, it would not address those 2 like aspects, and it would in a different completely manner. And so basically what this show is about, because it is on YouTube and you can find it, and some other episodes too. Basically what it's about David Ramsey, who plays David Randolph. And so he is the acting pastor of this church. I still don't know why it's called Good News. That made me think of a news show, But he does actually mention the name in the pilot, which is just kind of weird. So anyway, he is the acting pastor at this church. The old one, I forgot. He either went off without a young woman or he died or something like that. Well, anyways, so he's ready to take over. And his assistant, who's younger than him, sees him. He's about in like his 30s in this series. And she is smitten by him. She is loving what she sees and all this other stuff. But then 4 angry older churchgoers come in talking about how they love this church, they love the old pastor, they don't want it to get replaced, so they leaving. You know how them older church people are. Every time there's a new pastor come in, they're not exactly happy, and they're grumpy, and they fuss about it because they don't like change, you know what I'm saying? And that's how these people are. So they left, and they took his assistant with him because she's related to one of them. So he's upset by this and feels a little bit defeated. Like he doesn't understand why his congregation will like leave and stuff. So then he sits in his ginormous big chair, which was left over by the old pastor. It's a weird bit with him in the big chair, but it's kind of funny, but then it's kind of like, why is it there? So after that, he decides he's gonna check out the choir. And so he wants them to sing, and they're singing, but they're singing in a very old-fashioned draft type choir church way, with no real soul to them, no real beat, just kind of like old fashioned, And he tells them, this is a new generation, you have to like gospel music about like good news. This is where the title of the show come from. And so then, like, he inspires them to be more upbeat and everything. And then when they start singing now it's lively. Now it's what's known as being in a black church. If you've never been to a black church, you have no idea what you're missing when it comes to gospel music and stuff. I remember they even did the episode that on the middle where they used to always go to, like, it's a white family. They went to a white church. They went to a black church for the first time. And that mom was like an explosion came out of her body and stuff. And so as everything's like, vibing and have a good beat, in comes Raw's character, who is like the chef. And she volunteers as the cook and she's all like, supper's ready. He's not happy about this. He's like, look, I'm trying to get the choir settled and everything and, and prepare them. And she's all like, well, I just been cooking like meal and supper is ready. So with smothered chicken and collard greens and all this other stuff, they leave. So he and her are on bad terms because of this. And so then when he's in his office, he has a young guy comes in. I think he's about like a teenager, something like that. And he tells him, he has a problem and everything. And he wants to know what his problem is. And this is where the problematic stuff comes in. He's gay. So of course you hear that the live audience is like, whoa, and everything, and the pastor dudes are like, oh my god. This is back, of course, when LGBT was very frowned upon. So they use this as like humor to like kind of shame it and kind of not. So deep down inside, he doesn't really want that boy to be that way because, he's all like, God and the Bible, this and that. But he's going to accept that dude for who he is. So, and he's all like, there's nothing wrong with being in and everything. And at some point in time, he does try to, tell that dude, it's okay being who you are and it doesn't make you shameful, this and that. Well, the boy has another problem that he has to tell his mom that he's gay and he doesn't want to do that. He wants the pastor to do it. But the mom is the chef, so this is going to be problematic for him. So he tries his best to convince her, and it doesn't really work. And so she's angry. She doesn't want her son to be gay and all this other stuff. And so, like, they just go back and forth with him trying to explain to her, like, look, this is your son. You're supposed to love him regardless and all that other stuff. So eventually she does come, like, around, which is a good thing. But then he tells him he has another problem, which is the other problematic part of this show, that his boyfriend is white. And back in those days, black and white people were just starting to like mingle a lot more and stuff. But it wasn't really that mainstream as it is now. So even though this show is funny, it is a bit problematic because it relies on old jokes that are offensive today. I don't remember any other episode past this. I do remember watching it, but I don't really remember because, like I said, it only got canceled after one season, and after that, I just forgot all about the show and stuff until I found it on YouTube. But yeah, you should like really check it out. Like, it is an interesting show, and if you do like Diggle from like Arrow, then check out his earlier work. Happy Black History Month, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye.